We'll see if that's going to happen again, as Cloud9 going to have to pull out something. They are going to put Gods on that Roadhog, and Sinatra over to the Zarya with Defran on 76. So Defran going to be starting with the 76 rather than the Tracer, despite Sinatra being on that Zarya pick.
So I really do like this. I mean, yeah, they do often have the Tracer in this, but I think Defran really wants to off-angle and, you know, just pushing in damage from afar on the Soldier. This is a consistent pick that we see on this map. That Soldier is just so strong on Sanctum by just, especially, I mean, if you just get an off-angle, just tearing into the high ground whenever a team is up there, you can really put in a lot of pressure, get your ult up pretty fast, and have a very, very high impact in a map like this.
That was a nice, oh, the hook comes out there. Gods takes care of business onto Imong, but they lost Adam in the midst of that one, so still Selfless coming through with the first points. They are at a little bit of a disadvantage not having that Hog in the mix now, looking for some hooks over the bend, but Adam is going to be able to get back a little bit quicker to make it a 6v5 here. Still, Surefour coming up on an ultimate, but no, Defran finds that kill onto him. There is a charge into the back as well. Kaiser finds Kresnik, still back and forth throughout most of this. No clear advantage, but there's a charge, or excuse me, Kaiser coming out there with his ultimate, with the Earth Shatter. He gets taken down regardless by Sinatra, and in the end, it looks like it's going to be Selfless holding on strong.
Surefour, though, has his Tact Visor ready with that poke damage he was able to just dish out. You know, he did get picked by Defran, though, so going to be a, you know, one ult behind at the moment, but Nano Visor at the ready here, Storm. That's a big deal, especially considering the fact that we have so much coming up for C9 as well. They're going to really need it, you know, because they're going to have to press into Dak, having that sound barrier up pretty soon. They have a whole Hog coming out from Imong as well. They don't have a Zarya of their own because they're opting instead for Zephyr on that D.Va.
And the big thing here is that Kresnik doesn't have his ult yet. We already see Kaiser back to 20%. He already used it in the last fight, but man, these picks every single time we're seeing, well, the last couple of fights they were trades. We were seeing 1-for-1s to get the fight started, and Selfless still coming out on top, but they lose Zephyr early on here. 70% already mustered up from the side of Selfless. No look of them slowing down, and this is not good for the C9 clearly, but because Defran is getting back to having an ultimate again when Surefour hasn't had an opportunity to use his.
Well, a lot of charge is going to be gained by Sinatra here, and you really want to see him getting that ult charged up so that they have an opportunity to flip this if C9 winds up taking this. And this is kind of all over the place right now. We see Selfless pours into tunnels. It's actually Adam with a huge boop onto Sinatra again. Sinatra has got to feel bad about that one after King's Row, man.
96% rather put up here by the side of Selfless. So, I mean, you couldn't ask for much better of a start here to the first round. Except for an additional 3% on the board there. It might allow for a little bit of a trickle from C9 if we do see Selfless take this back, but it's big that Surefour wasn't forced to use his ultimate in the last fight, but he will have to go up against a Nano Visor, so this is going to be rough, because if he's in the you know, LOS of Defran here, Surefour is going to have a rough time trying to match what he's able to do with that Tact Visor.
Zephyr sending out the self-destruct into the back line, not going to be able to achieve anything, but that's going to be Surefour kind of in the back line, just staying away from Defran, who has that Nano Visor. Look at all these kills they're reeling in on the side of Selfless.
And the fact that he picks up both supports immediately couldn't be better for Selfless. I mean, they were just easily there. The self-destruct initiation from Zephyr didn't really push him back too far. It kind of dispersed a little bit of Selfless, but now over time taking down Adam, trying to get there in time. Waves hello, but he takes the dip off the map. Dak with the boop, and that's going to be Selfless with a convincing first round.
Now moving into these next few maps, I mean, Selfless obviously going to be really strong on that type of map. Triple tank with the Fran, just, you know, giving all the distance that they possibly could want. And I don't know, man. That's definitely going to be the Selfless map for sure in this matchup. Now the question is, as you go into these other maps, is it going to be enough here for C9 to start, you know, coming back in the scoreline? Because again, they have to win this map. Not only just because of the fact that, you know, this is their pick and they have to, you know, get back into this series, but also it's 2-0 in a best of 5 right now. They literally have to win this.
They will indeed. If they want to be able to come back into this best of 5 series, but both teams opting to keep with the same compositions. We do see actually Defran heading over to the Tracer this time around. Zephyr sticking with the D.Va here, nothing really. Surefour as well making a change over the Tracer. So both 76 is wanting to go with a little bit more versatility and looking for a little bit of a duel on the side. Meanwhile, the team's looking for a little bit of hammer pressure from the Reinhardts. Kresnik maybe maybe an opportunity for him to move in off of this if he can find something here yet. Kind of being dispersed. There's a charge from Kaiser to get it underway, but Surefour the first to drop here. And now Kaiser finding himself a little out of position. Might be able to get back into this.
Well, Kaiser pretty low at the moment. They do get the flip, though, with Selfless still in the area, and they're pressing onto Kaiser right now. He's got his barrier pretty low, but so is Kresnik's. Gonna have to be careful here as he's backed off. No barrier left for Cloud9. Gods, though, with the nice pick onto Defran.
You got to remember, Defran was taken down with that pulse bomb. Surefour was sitting about 45% when Defran already had his ready, so Defran clearly putting in the work, but didn't really mean too much for his team because Cloud9 grabbing that 22% now and continuing to build a case in this second round here. They're going to need a lot of it, Hurix, if they want to come out victorious here on Nepal.
Now Surefour with that pulse bomb, looking for an opportunity for a pick here. Does, I think he hears them at the moment, just coming through that main, but he keeps just checking that, just shoulder peeking it, just to make sure that nobody's coming up on that high ground. They're going to get that pulse bomb there, but he's going to slide around that backside, and that's the Graviton Surge coming out from Sinatra there.
Oh, the pulse bomb and the follow-up there from Michael 3D finds a nice bio grenade. I almost thought that Defran's pulse bomb was going to be absorbed by the defense matrix from Zephyr, but he actually, I think it actually expired as that came through there from Defran. So that was pretty much an easy wipe coming out. Just two ults utilized there from Sinatra and Defran. That's exactly what you want to see happen from those guys. So many times you can see that combo go wrong, Hurix.
Absolutely, it could be, eaten up by Zephyr. Could just completely whiff. I mean, it might not be. I mean, it might be soaked instead by Adam. You never know. So now we see the whole hog coming out from Emong. That's just going to press them back into this. Actually, the Nano Boost coming out again as well, and that's going to be Kresnik going with the Earth Shatter. Doesn't really get much out of it though.
I think he expected people to follow to come back into that. After that whole hog expired there, but just kind of laid it in there, didn't find anything. Kaiser receiving that Nano Boost there from Rolf as they move forward. He's not going to waste any time charging onto the point. Regardless, it's Gods coming through. Emong was kind of left in the dust from the rest of his team. Out of position there. There's a Shatter. Kaiser follows through with two of them onto Sinatra and Dak, and that will certainly mean them continuing to build this lead. 47%, not too bad, I'd say, for Selfless, though.
We'll have to see if Selfless can get back onto the point and do something. I mean, they really don't have a lot of options. Obviously, C9 at this point, you would really like to see if you're Selfless, that Graviton Surge ready to go and hopefully just not eaten up by Zephyr at all because they really don't have any answers for it. But going into that next fight where Sinatra will have it, they might have that sound barrier from Adam.
Didn't find anything with a pulse bomb, though. So they're actually just going to back off this. I mean, losing Michael 3D so early on in the fight, I would not be surprised to see Cloud9 continuing to press this advantage forward. And Surefour does just that with the kill on the Sinatra. They've got 10 seconds to get back into this one, but Cloud9 looking pretty dominant here, and they still have a pulse bomb coming up on a Nano Boost as well as a sound barrier and a late kill on the deck. I guess you could call that an early kill to this fight because they're going to be forced to move into this 5-on-6, and they don't even touch the point here because that is a 1-1 scoreline across the board here for Nepal.
Much better for Cloud9, and these are definitely the maps that are going to look better for them. Now you have to wonder, what kind of maps we're going to be seeing at the end of the pool. This next one here on Shrine, definitely a 50-50 in my opinion, because on Shrine it really kind of comes down to who gets that first point, and then Surefour actually going to go to the McCree. We saw them do this actually, I believe it was against Renegades if I'm not mistaken. It might have, I'm not exactly, I don't remember exactly, it might have been a good round instead up against EZA, but I know for sure that we saw this when he wanted to use it against a against a Pharah, but that's not going to be the case here. He's going to swap it over to the Tracer, and he's going to get back over there, but they are going to be using Gods. This is that map that I was talking about, that Gods might actually pull out the Genji on this one in particular, but look at this. It's going to be that 3-tank strat actually coming out for Selfless, so they won't have that Winston to deal with it. Emong could certainly slide over off of the Roadhog to deal with them, but already that Roadhog is still a solid pick, so I'm not sure if they even want to, because Roadhog could inherently deal with Kaiser, could still get hooks off onto Rolf, Gods. I mean, anybody really. Surefour could get the shutdown on any of them, so I don't think they want to swap that just to deal with Genji.
Selfless feeling pretty comfortable with what they were running previously, but no, Surefour already grabbing himself a pickup with the pulse bomb, and they are just going to clean up the house here as Kresnik is still alive, just going to die with the rest of the squad. And just like that, they shut him down and grab a significant ult advantage. God's already hitting about 70% for that Dragon Blade.
Really, really good timings here by Gods and Rolf. That's the things you want to look for if you want to be able to hold this point. You have to get not only do you have to get the point, but you also have to get good ult timings. You have to maintain that so that you can keep getting that poke damage out, get those ultimates charged up so that you can go into each fight ahead in terms of the economy. And you, of course, Gods with that blade, he's going to be able to do a lot with it because there's really no answer for him at the moment.
They changed
the sleep dart.
Yeah, they did change the Fran over to 76 though and put Sinatra back on the Tracer, going with that 2-2-2 setup, but it clearly isn't making much of an impact right away here as they show it to us as 40% is now being hit from the side of C9. And again, they only really needed to use that ultimate from Gods, and they came up strong with it, and they're going to be pretty much secured for another couple of fights. I think if Adam and Rolf can maintain those ults pretty nicely, they don't have too much to worry about because DeFran made a late pick onto 76. He's only at 45% now for Attack Visor.
Transcendence at the ready for Rolf here. Primal Rage, we're good to go. We do see the Pulse Bomb, but Surefour going to get eliminated as soon as I called it out.
It's a good pickup for them, and going to allow for DeFran to continue to build up that ult he needs so badly, but I don't think they need to use anything at this point. It looks like they want to go ahead and use the ultimates. I guess they're making sure that they can hold on to this one, grab it in their favor before that hits 99%, especially since Kaiser's coming through there with a Primal Rage, and Gods is now back to the point. That is going to be an easy cleanup. Regardless, over 80%, you could say this is one of the harder points to be able to take back here, but we'll see what Selfless can do with this.
Man, it's going to be rough here for Cloud9. I mean, they definitely have, you know, both support ults is certainly a good way to get in there. You have the self-destruct coming up soon, but, you know, pick potential coming out from Pulse Bomb. It's possible. It's certainly possible that they win it in this next fight here. I mean, just given the ults that they have, it's definitely well within the realm of possibility, but still, they have to deal with DeFran coming along the side with the Tac Visor, maybe putting in some hurt onto Gods if he pulls out the blade. Is it going to be met by the Tac Visor? Can he find the kill before? It looks like he's looking for it, but they do find the kill onto DeFran.
But it's all about Kresnik with the shatter in the back, kind of shutting down what we were going to see from Gods. Gods had the support of the sound barrier Adam, able to keep him alive, and Rolf also used his ultimate, the Transcendence, in that fight, so they're forced to bring out both of those, but even so, it seems to pay off as it's just Sinatra. Pulse Bomb's out. Not going to be able to grab anything. DeFran going to come back in. I hope he doesn't use that Tac Visor right now. I hope he holds on to that one as they look for a regroup.
It's going to be a quick regroup, though, and if he gets picked off, all hope is lost here for Selfless for sure. He does get back over to his team. They are kind of low at the moment, but DeFran pulls it out. He finds 2 kills along with Michael 3D. Are they going to be able to get back onto the point, though? It looks like that is going to be the case at 99% here, taking into overtime.
I think that was a big mistake on the side of C9 to continue to press on DeFran. You'd think that was a good decision, but it was Zephyr who got demeched that allowed for DeFran to turn the corner, pick up 2 kills with the Tac Visor. Now, they are going to hit overtime as the flip comes through. 50% on the board for Selfless. Plenty of time for C9 to get something going now, but they're far off from any big ultimates from Adam and Rolf. Gods is going to have to be what they need to pull through in this next fight.
That blade is going to be huge. They have to be able to shut that down. Typically, you would really like to see DeFran either nanoed or with the Tac Visor. He did actually get nanoed up, but still, oh, he does get it with the
oh, that's big, and I was worried because it was Dak coming through with a sound barrier to initiate the fight despite them holding on to it here, and it was DeFran coming up big for them with that kill, but still, plenty of people here for C9 to turn this in their favor. They're at 99%. This is going to be flipped here. Kresnik is way on the side here. He's going to be trying to charge onto the point to make sure they can do something. This is going to take down, and they're going to be a struggle for Selfless to be able to get back to this point here.
Surefour winning out that duel with DeFran, too. I mean, that's going to easy opportunity for him to deal with Michael 3D. Doesn't know where the Pulse Bomb he was even at, so he's just kind of skipping around, wound up dying off. C9 steal this one away. That's going to be 100-91 as the final scoreline. They're at 2-1 here on Nepal. And again, they have to win this map if they want to stay in this tournament here in the finals up against Selfless Gaming. And if they win this next one, we'll be moving on to Lijiang Tower, a map that wound up being a tiebreaker for Hollywood before, and it was Selfless scoring that point in a best-of-3. So you have to be very, very nervous if you're Cloud9. Even if you win this one, you are not out of the woods yet at all.
We're headed back to Village here, and last time we went to Village, DeFran and Surefour made the change. Both of them made the change over to the Tracer, and I think Surefour wants to stick with that one. DeFran going to be sticking with his guts here. He's going to be going with that 76 rather than the Tracer here. So we'll see what they're able to make of this one. Gods on the Roadhog once again. As you expected to see the Genji on the last point, that's exactly what we saw, and it worked out fantastically for them here. So we'll see if that's going to be the case with the Roadhog this time around. I'm looking for some big plays from Dufresne. Dufresne has to come up clutch if they want to be able to pull themselves back into this one.
See, Kaiser already at 30% as he's gets hooked out by Among, but Among didn't have the ammo actually to secure that kill, or at least put in a significant enough amount of damage to put Kaiser, reeling back onto the point. And it looks like Cloud9 are just almost about to get this point. Oh, he actually gets the charge off, but the hook in actually Kaiser killed off there by Emong.
And like you said, they got the point about mid-fight there. I don't think it's really going to amount to too much if Selfless take this back, but a Graviton Surge comes through there from Sinatra. Should be an easy cleanup as they get Kaiser out of the mech, take care of business here. They lost to Fran. Getting it back to the point won't be too much of an issue. He's pretty quick on the 76 man, but that 11% lead going to be shut down right away from the side of C9.
Now Sinatra, though, without that Graviton, I mean, they had to use it right there just to secure the point. So we'll have to see if he can maintain that energy level and hold on to this, or if maybe C9 with their 3 ultimates that are charged up, almost 4 with Adam coming up with a sound barrier, are going to be enough to actually turn this one. Kaiser gets grenaded, but the nano boost comes out. Earth Shatter missed, man.
Yeah, I didn't really find anything from that. Thankfully, he wasn't taken out, though, by Surefour's ultimate. There is a Boostio on the table here, as it looks like Dax trying to get something down. Didn't really find too much damage as the Boostio, and still, Selfless holding a couple of people on the point, not going to be lasting too much longer. They took a decent lead here, but we've seen this from them in the last 2 rounds here, because they got up to about 45–50% before actually falling.
Still a lot of ultimates. I mean, Adam, Gods, both with theirs. Self-destruct at the ready as well, but without Kaiser there, you don't typically see a huge amount of kills coming from it. I mean, obviously a lot can be said about the isolation that you get from the self-destruct, and it looks like they will probably send that in off the point, but again, just a lot of line of sight to use to get away from that. So I'm not sure if they'll get kills, but it might lead to kills through the isolation that it creates.
Attack visor coming out from Dufresne. Sound barrier trying to hold strong through that, and you mentioned all of the ultimates they had, man. Gods was put to sleep there. They didn't find really anything from that, Hurix. Despite being at a massive disadvantage, they only used Tactical Visor from Dufresne, and they still punch out, what, 4 ultimates, I believe, were used from C9. They can't come up victorious. Selfless will be able to take back the lead here.
Now the problem is that Graviton is coming up once again, and Emong has been holding onto this whole hog for a little bit, ready to use in conjunction with that grab. So certainly a lot of firepower to be backed up. Can Rolf actually land that sleep dart once again to shut Emong down? It definitely is a possibility. He's done it before, but I'm not sure if he can do it again. That is definitely asking a lot of your Ana.
Looking for an opportunity to drop the Shatter once Kaiser can get another Fire Strike here. As they actually are going to take the high ground approach. Maybe look for a little bit of a flank potential with Gods. Maybe trying to get a hook out here. See if they can open up this fight. Graviton Surge up high there, coming out from the side of Sinatra. As it looks like Kresnik actually gets the nano boost up here. And again, they open up the fight. They're actually dropping all of their ultimates into this one here. And they retain this. And remember, only 10 seconds left. They have a couple of people near the point for C9. But I'm afraid this is a done deal. Surefour coming back on the 76. He is going to be taken down easily. And that should be Selfless tying this one up. We are headed to a 5th and final round here on Nepal.
Really good performance. Now the question is, what is that final map going to be? If it's Sanctum, ooh, that's not going to look good for C9. We'll have to see what the RNG gods give to us here for this final 5th map, but we'll have to see. I mean, just moments away. It is going to be, it's going to be Shrine here. So this is actually a little bit of a toss-up. I definitely think either team could pull this one out. God's going to be on the Genji here. Selfless, definitely had a little bit of a struggle here, certainly starting off on this map, but now going to have to pull it out. They want to take away this 3-0 and just shut this down, take away a finals victory. So, I mean, this is a thing that Selfless hasn't been able to do in quite some time, is take a first place in a tournament like this.
And how do you think they've managed to get past Gods right now? Because he was an issue last time.
Well, I mean, yeah, you really have to hope that Dufresne's able to shut him down. We saw the nano boost coming out sometimes and really kind of helping. Tactvisor certainly going to do a lot. Bmong, maybe, he gets that hook, but really you're relying on these guys to make some huge plays to shut down Gods, who's an impact player himself.
Right away, we're looking for something from Emong. Wasn't able to do much with his hook here. Surefour trying to flank around the side. He's not quite going to get hit with the bio grenade as this point starts to unlock. This is a battle of the Tracers looking to pick up an early kill, get some of that early ult charge, as Surefour currently has a little bit of a lead, but now the teams are going to be forced to engage off this one. Kaiser on the Winston, Kresnik with the Reinhardt here, so a little bit of a difference in those main tanks, but Kaiser forced to jump off this one. I think they might be able to press this forward, especially Surefour has his ultimate ready to go, but no, it's Kaiser the first to drop.
Still, Emong with that kill on Kaiser. I mean, they need to really do a lot more with that. Gods falls actually as well, and DeFran not only getting those kills alongside Sinatra, but he's actually going to secure his tac visor just to push this forward and make sure that C9 can't battle their way back, because that's something that C9 has done before, is that they've come back off a respawn after delaying a fight like that and actually swung it themselves, especially with Gods. But that's not going to be the case here, as DeFran just secures it with that tac visor. Pushing forward, though, we do see still that nano boost ready to go with Michael. And as well, I mean, Dak with the sound barrier kind of on pace with Adam.
And starting out this map with the first points, you know how hard it can be to take this back here, because we talk about this time after time. And again, they buy themselves even more time. I think that's easily 50+% before the next fight even starts, especially since Dak is going to have his sound barrier to extend the next fight here. So this is looking pretty good already for Selfless. They're looking to 3-0 Cloud9 here in the finals.
Certainly on pace for that, but they still have to answer Gods now. They really do. I mean, Nano Boost onto DeFran worked last time. Maybe the whole hog is able to, you know, bounce him away enough that he's not able to have that same kind of lethality that we're looking for. But that's the Nano Boost going out.
It's on to Sinatra there from the side of Selfless. Oh man, Rolf is actually charged into there. Pulse bombs out. Surefour picks up one for himself, and this is going to be C9 battling their way back into this one. I thought that that Selfless were going to be able to have that. Questionable putting that nano boost onto Sinatra there. Didn't really find a whole lot from that. Missed his pulse bomb to initiate. 62% regardless for Selfless.
I mean, that's something that they have done in the past, though.
Certainly, yeah.
It was typically in the past, though, it was with DeFran on the Tracer that they did actually use the nano boost on him. Maybe it was just a misfire. Maybe they were trying to line it up onto DeFran and Sinatra just happened to blink in the way. You never know. I mean, at this stage. But nonetheless, it didn't work out. Now they're going to have to battle back onto the point and steal this away. But Kaiser getting hooked in, not going to be enough. Whole hog coming out, though, to try to separate him. And look at the distance. Kaiser's all the way in the back, has his primal rage, though, so you will have that health reset going into this.
That was a good job from Zephyr, keeping Kaiser alive with the defense matrix here. He does get a reset, but it's Surefour the first to fall. Looking for a shatter from Kresnik. He's going to go ahead and drop it. Hits nothing but a pillar. That's not going to be a good sign for him, as they do lose Sinatra. But even so, they're taking care of business. That's with Gods. That's a big thing that's on my mind right now. Gods has not been as much of an impact on the Genji as we've seen from him previously on Shrine Yurix.
Surefour with the pulse bomb coming in. He's just going to try to stall the point out. Gets hooked, though, by Emong, and they should be able to get this one back in their favor. Selfless now coming back into it. I mean, they still maintain the lead. They retained it throughout that entire fight, but they're going to have to hold on to this point for quite some time, and that's going to be, again, against that really tough duo of ults with Rolf and God's Transcendence, as well as, some nice hits there from Rolf, but yeah, that Dragon Blade's still going to be very, very tough to deal with. They, again, have that Nano Visor ready, so they could deal with it, especially with the sound barrier up as well. And I think that that's going to be what they're going to want to go with. And they have a really good opportunity here to take this one, which is going to be the last fight.
Pulse bomb's out there. Surefour capitalizing. Dragon Blade, everything's on the table here. We're going to hit overtime, certainly, but the Transcendence is going to be able to battle past a lot of that damage that came in there from DeFran. But man, Sinatra trying to even out the playing field with the pulse bomb of his own, was looking for an opportunity. We're in overtime now. This is everything. Cloud9 need to pull this in their favor. They are going to do just that with the kill on the Dak as well. Kresnik is still in the area with a couple teammates, but it's Cloud9 having another chance to be able to pull this in their favor.
Such a strong pulse bomb that started that fight out. Surefour really making the play to get his team in there and it give them just a slight edge, because really it was kind of, you know, a little bit equal with the way that those ults were, because, you know, while Gods might have gotten canceled out by DeFran and Michael 3D, Rolf had that Transcendence as well, so it's not like he was going to be able to find those kills himself. A little bit, you know, kind of equaled out, balanced out, but that was actually huge that they were able to cancel out the Reinhardt in that first one. Look at this swap, though, from DeFran. He's looking to try to beat out Gods. You pulled out the blade there.
Yeah, he did. It was another blade from him, but Kresnik falls short with his ultimate again. Maybe not adjusting to the Reinhardt Earthshatter changes as well as he maybe hoped for, because there is a lot of slanted ground here. Didn't really find anything. Still, they've got an opportunity to pull this in their favor. Like you said, Dufresne is on that Winston here. We're going to hit overtime. This is the final fight we've got on the table. Oh, God's going to be taken down by Dufresne. Pulse bombs out there. Misses from Sinatra. They have the ultimate from Michael 3D. What can they find? Wolf comes through, though, trying to save his team with that ultimate.
He has the Transcendence, and that's big. That might be everything that they really kind of needed to actually push forward. Surefour with another pick on the Kresnik. Can Emong find the kill? They go through. Sinatra with 2 kills on the board. He's looking at DMAX. Zephyr does it. It looks like
I think they might have it. He has a pulse bomb. He brings it out there. Doesn't find him. No Surefour. Recalls to safety. They've got numbers here for the side of Selfless. Emong with the whole log. He unleashes the beast. He finds Surefour. They almost take control of the point, though. They are going to. It takes down. That is a 3-0 for